So as the official Twitter account announced earlier in the year, which hasn't been very long I guess, there will be more news on Worlds Beyond coming out later on in March. We can assume that Worlds Beyond is coming soon, hopefully, so because of that I'm gonna try to max out my class levels before Worlds Beyond comes. I haven't actually been playing the game that long, so my class levels are a bit low on some classes. So today we'll be working on my Haven class level. Haven in particular I haven't played much because most of the decks I don't particularly enjoy the playstyle, like Amulet or like super control heavy decks. I don't like that much. However, in this specific throwback there is the option of Ward Haven, which I do like because it basically plays like a sword deck. So today we'll be playing some Ward Haven on the ladder. So let's look at the deck list I'm running. So this is the deck list we'll be playing with for today. As you can see, there is a lot of war cards. Well, there's a lot of legendaries. This is a very expensive deck. It's not really a deck I would recommend for just trying to play a cheap deck, but I mean, here we are. So this is the deck list. There's a lot of legendaries here, so let's talk about some of the key effects. First we have Ra. Ra will be your continuous damage effect. It's pretty strong. Wilbert is another source of continuous damage. It gives your allied followers the ability to do damage to the enemy when your opponent attacks into your wards. You have Anvelt. Anvelt is very strong. He crystallizes, and then when he comes out, he does 4 damage to all enemy followers and 2 to the enemy leader, which for this point in time is a pretty strong effect. And then Sarissa is very annoying. She has the ability to run away with games because when an allied follower with ward is destroyed, she gains +2/+2, so if your opponent does not have an answer to her, she can win the game on her own. Other than that, I think it's pretty standard stuff. The one thing I should mention is Pure Metamorphosis here. I think it's pretty uncommon in Ward Haven lists, but I am running Pure Metamorphosis because I play like half my games are against Haven, and just to spite the Haven players, I'm running Pure Metamorphosis just to transform their amulets into Sacred Teachings. Is this tech good? Not really. It hasn't really done that much for me, but I mean, in my quest to spite the Haven players, I'm running it. You can run something else if you want. So this is the deck list we're playing for today. Let's look at some games. Our first game for today is against Forest, and we are going first. Going first is generally favored. I mean, that's just how these things work, I guess. On the mulligan, we usually hard mulligan for Anvelt, and then the rest of the cards will be based on matchup. Anvelt is the top priority. If you have Anvelt, you can look for Enchanting Knight. And if you have Anvelt, you can also look for some matchup specific cards like Yukari, for example. But against Forest, I mean, in this case we just look for Anvelt. We don't manage to pick up Anvelt, unfortunately, so just drop Ramiel here. Based on this kind of play, it looks like this is going to be Aggro Forest. We have a good matchup against most aggro decks because, I mean, we just summon a bunch of wards. I think nothing to do here, just go ahead and drop Sarissa. You can also become an annoying threat for my opponent if they don't answer it. They go ahead and drop Wolf Rod here, which is completely fine with me. You can see Sarissa is getting buffed here. We can go ahead and use Pure Metamorphosis to get rid of Wolf Rod. It does give them the Holy Falcon, which is a storm, so you have to watch out for that, but I mean, it's less annoying than Wolf Rod is to deal with, so I'll take it. So there's my opponent's Cactus Cowboy here. And they will have to go ahead and trade into my Sarissa. Kokoro as well. They do manage to clear my Sarissa, but they spend the entire time on it, which is very good for me because this is an aggro deck, and the later on we go into the game, the more advantaged I am compared to them, so we will gladly take this turn. Go ahead and top deck Ra, so we'll just go ahead and play that. Unfortunately, we did pick it up there because we had nothing else to do here, so go ahead and just drop the Ra. Opponent will go ahead and drop the Vagabond Lizard here, as well as the Beautiful Steed and the Rivalian Bandit. The Rivalian is pretty strong here. It can go ahead and trade over my Ra. Generally, against aggro forest, you are playing a more reactive game, which is why I didn't pre-evo the Ra here. It is an option definitely, but I chose not to do it. For this turn, I could have just enhanced Sarissa to summon another Ra, but that's not super useful, so we go ahead and go Vengeful Sniper here. Once again, we don't play the Sarissa either, we just go ahead and trade it off. In case we have pick up Anvelt later on, we can use Sarissa to summon Anvelt again, so that we can clear that board. My opponent decides to just drop Wolf Rod here. Rivayle Bandit as well as Kokoro. And this will give them enough cards played to unleash Wolf Rod's evolve effect, which you may or may not know. If you play at least 3 cards the turn when you evolve him, he gains +3/+3. And then he can't be destroyed by effects either, so he does dodge Zelganea, which is quite annoying. We don't have a good answer to it, so we'll just go ahead and drop our Wilbert here. Get rid of the Rivayle Bandit in case they try to buff it later on. And they do drop Gabriel here. They do buff Kokoro here, which is pretty smart of them. If they had buffed Wolf Rod, that would have been pretty dumb. But yeah, they do buff Kokoro here. We don't have a good way to clear that board, but we can go ahead and summon out another Wilbert. And we can use Pure Metamorphosis to transform one of their followers. They're down to 6. We have 3 wards on board, meaning that if they just trade straight up, they will die to Wilbert's effect. So they need to have some healing or else they are screwed. Or they need effect removal, but unfortunately they didn't have it, so they just go ahead and die to Wilbert's effect. So that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next one. Our next game for today will be against Shadow, and we are going second. Shadow is a bit awkward because it could be either Aggro or Necromancy, and they are like opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of speed. Either we just look for Anvelt. We keep Ramiel here, of course, the ramp. Ramp is always nice. Although against Shadow, it's a bit questionable if you have time to ramp with Ramiel, but I mean, worst case, she's just a 2-cost ward we can drop to deal with their early game aggro if it is aggro. My opponent does play the Quixotic Adventurer, which means this will probably be aggro, so we have the Ramiel to protect us, but we do pick up Vengeful Sniper, so we shall use that instead. Save Ramiel to ramp with later on our Evo turn. And there's Miyako, which is fine. It's a bit annoying to clear, but I mean, we can just try to maintain ourselves with wards and that should be fine. Here we pick up another Vengeful Sniper. We could have went Wilbert here for us more protection, but I think Wilbert is best safe for our turn 6 because Aggro Shadow has a lot of storms, so having Wilbert to annoy them should be pretty good. We do unfortunately take a ton of damage here. As you can see, they have Abysmal Wraith, which goes up to 4 attack, which is a poor match for Ramiel if you're trying to ramp. So, but we do go ahead and use Ramiel to ramp because we have no good turn 5 play, so we really need to get to turn 6 PP, so that we can just drop Wilbert, or else we will have to waste next turn pretty badly. And we do also have Anvelt here to clear our board next turn when we drop Wilbert. Let's evolve and trade the Helio here. And trade here. I was thinking of playing Wilbert, but I believe I decided to not play Wilbert. Yeah, I went Vengeful Sniper here instead, deny them the draw. You can see they only have 1 card in hand left, so banishing this Milteo should hit them pretty hard. And then here, it took me a while to think about this, but I decided to play a Pure Metamorphosis on the Helio. This does give them the Regal Falcon, the Holy Falcon instead of the Zombie. This does 2 things. One, it does kind of ruin their 3 play point reanimate. It can summon Holy Falcon now instead of Helio, which maybe Holy Falcon is better. You know, there's an argument for that. But my logic is that if they manage to clear my board next turn, then I have to deal with the Zombie on the following turn. So I'd rather deal with the Regal Falcon now when I'm sure I have wards to deal with it. So that's why I transformed it. Arguably I should have just saved it, but you know, whatever. And then a nice little interaction here. Leader effects always activate first, so their Lich comes out before Anvelt, then Anvelt comes out to clear the Lich. So we do get to deny them the Lich, which is pretty nice. We'll evolve the Holy Falcon here. They drop a Milteo here. Very unlucky for them. If we had saved the spell, we could have turned the Milteo into the Holy Falcon and probably ruined their life, but we didn't, so we'll just go ahead and drop Wilbert. Right now we are definitely on have the upper hand, so we pushed aggressively with our Anvelt. Next time we can use Yukari to protect our followers. Sort of annoy them. They don't have much healing, so this Wilbert really hurts them. They're trying to draw for it out and they don't manage to find it, so they just use the Abysmal Wraith to at least take Anvelt with them. But now that it is our turn, we can just finish them off with our followers on board. So that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next one. Our last match for today is against Sword. Sword can be bad matchup because they have a lot of very strong late game tools, which is when our game is also strongest. So our main hope against Sword is to super high roll them with all our leader effects plus an early Anvelt, or high roll them Sarissa instead. So we do need to high roll them. No reason to drop the Sacred Stone Apostle here on turn 1, so we go ahead and keep it. Unfortunately, I did draw Sarissa here, meaning I probably should have just dropped the Sacred Stone Apostle on turn 1, and then Sarissa would have 2 wards, which is misplay on my part maybe, but we just go ahead and drop Sarissa here. To be able to annoy Sword pretty badly, their main non-trading removal is Resolve of the Fallen. If they're gonna spend their turn playing Resolve on the Fallen on Sarissa, it's a very bad turn for them, so I'm not complaining. Time we can throw out our defenses for Sarissa with more wards and then hit them in the face. And it should hopefully annoy them. They do actually just play Resolve of the Fallen here to get rid of my Sarissa, which I guess is somewhat unfortunate, but it's fine, they wasted their entire turn 4 on it. Gives us free time to play a Ra here. And we do spend an Evo point here. Arguably I should have kept... Oh, I spent an Evo point here because I wanted to make Ra 7 attack. This way if they have Amelia, they have to... If they trade into Ra, she will die as well, so that's the point. And there is the Amelia as well. So thanks to us evolving the Ra here, we can just eat the Amelia with the Ra. Go. Now we have Gelt here, there's no reason for me to activate the last words for them. We can go ahead and just drop Wilbert's effect. Against a trade heavy deck like Sword, although they do have Nana and stuff as well, but against a very follower heavy deck like Sword, you can consider not trading into their followers and forcing them to trade instead, because this way you can get Wilbert's leader effect to deal more work. Plus this only makes sense if you actually have Wilbert in your hand. If you don't have Wilbert, then don't do that. My opponent is going to go ahead and trade here. So trade the Kagemitsu as well. Another Kagemitsu here. Unfortunately for them, this does kill them because we have Ra's leader effect. And we also have Anvelt in hand, which I believe I do play here just to finish them off. So that's it for this game as well. Pretty high rolling game, and yeah, that's it. So that's it for today. I did want to get some footage of using Pure Metamorphosis against Haven to ruin their life. Unfortunately, the one time I did run into a Sanctuary Haven while playing this specific list, I got rid of one of their Sanctuaries and they drew another 2, so I got ruined anyway. This deck is very miserable to play against the Haven Mirror, which is why I tech so heavily against it. It's not like the most like logical tech, but it's a personal preference because I hate Haven. I hate playing against Sanctuary Haven with this deck so much. Unfortunately, once I did start teching for Sanctuary Haven, they stopped appearing. I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but you know, whatever. So this is the list we're playing. If you're playing it yourself for some reason, I definitely do recommend switching Pure Metamorphosis for something more useful. But yeah, this is it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.